Panthers get a win last night. Get a win on Sunday. 36-30 in overtime. Let's be real, should not have gone to OT. Should not have gone to overtime. But this is all the process of a young team learning to win. And by young, I mean you have a second-year quarterback. You have a first-year head coach who's also just his second year as a play caller. You've got some young wide receivers or young skill positions overall. Tommy Tremple's on a rookie contract still. Chuba Hubbard, I know he signed a contract extension, but he's on a rookie contract. Same with Ike Ekwonu on a rookie deal. Jalen Coker's an undrafted rookie. Jadeveon Sanders, rookie. You also have Xavier Legette. I know he didn't play yesterday. Rookie. Like, still overall a young, at least offensively, a young team. Still trying to learn how to win. And for a team in the Carolina Panthers that is looking to change its culture to a winning culture, guess what? You got to win. You can't change the culture of a team to a winning culture unless you actually get rewarded for the work that you're doing. I know there are Panther fans. I know Chris Lee and I had a new episode of Panthers Playbook after the game on Sunday. And there are a couple people in the comment section saying, well, this is actually a bad situation because the Carolina Panthers won. It hurts their draft position for their first-round pick and all that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I disagree. And that's fine if you think that way. I totally get it. You want the best player available, and you want the highest draft pick position possible. I get that. But eventually, at some point, these guys have to learn how to win. And just one high pick in the first round isn't just going to instantly just flip the switch for your team. It's just not. It takes more than just one guy coming in and doing that. Also, what do you want these guys, the current Panthers that are going to be part of this team going forward, what do you want them to feel? Hey, guys, we got close again. Awesome. We're going to get a high pick. Is that what you want to establish for a first-year head coach and a second-year QB? No. You want them to learn how to win and what it actually takes to have a good game. Full 60 minutes. Make winning plays when they count in the situations where it really matters. We'll dive into that in a second, but Dave Canales, the head coach, it was really special to play Panther football.
It was great. It was great for us to just be right here, Bank of America Stadium, with our fans here. It was a great showing by the fans. I mean, it was, there was some great energy, at the end of this finish right here. So to be able to show our style, great effort, great enthusiasm, great toughness, playing smart, and finish, the final piece of that, it was really special to me, so that we can feel what that feels like to play our brand of football.
Yes, feel what it feels like, but the finish part, Graham, is where they still can get better. Let's go late in the game. There's still winning plays to be made that were left out there by the Panthers. Like I said, there's no business that game had no business going into overtime. No business going into overtime. Carolina takes over with the ball, their own 14-yard line with 3:10 to play. They're up 3 at this time, 30-27. Arizona has all 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. So 4 times they get a chance to stop the clock. 4 stoppages. 3:10 to play. Panthers have the ball. You're winning. This is a situation where possession and clock are your friend. Protect the ball. Stay in bounds. Football 101. They teach you that before high school. Protect the ball. Stay in bounds. Clock's ticking. Arizona's used one of their timeouts. It gets to 3rd and 5 for the Carolina Panthers on their own 19. Bryce Young ends up finding Dan Chisena, the wide receiver, picks up 23 yards to the 42-yard line. Love it. Big chunk play, chains moving. Except Chisena goes out of bounds, gets forced out of bounds, doesn't stay in bounds. In those situations, I'd much rather just get 15 yards as opposed to 23 as long as you stay in bounds. So now the clock stops with 2:15 to play. By going out of bounds, you actually made things easier for Arizona. Because again, they already used one of their timeouts. By you stepping out of bounds, they still have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. So 3 stops of the clock with 2:15 to play. Staying in bounds either makes Arizona use a timeout or the clock runs down to the 2-minute warning. Either way, Arizona has to use a stoppage. You're forcing the Cardinals to use one of their stoppages. That's play number 1. Panthers run the ball twice. Cardinals use one of their timeouts as well as the 2-minute warning to stop the clock. Brings up 3rd down and short. A short 3 for Carolina at their own 49-yard line. Pick up a first down and you win. Simple as that. If you pick up a first down and Arizona uses their final timeout, which they, again, should not have because you stepped out of bounds earlier, but if they use their final timeout, you burn 40 seconds off the clock on each play on 3 kneel downs, you go home with a win. You go home with a win. Simple as that. You go home with a win. Dave Canales calls a pass play to the left lap for Chisena. He's open. The play was there. Now, if you wanted to dispute and say, hey, you know what? They should have ran the ball. Hey, I'm for it. I like Chuba Hubbard. There's a reason why you signed Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt. There's a reason why Ike Ekwonu's rated one of the best run blockers at left tackle. Lean into it. But also, if you don't pick up the first down, if you run the ball, you force them to use a timeout, right? Stop the clock. Possibly, or if they want to let it bleed down, that's their decision. Probably my guess they would call a timeout. But anyway, the play is there. Bryce Young dismissed the throw. And he knew it. You make that completion, Chisena, if he stays in bounds this time, you win. But because Bryce misses, you stop the clock again for Arizona. You stop the clock again for him. And as opposed to, look, this is also the frustrating part there. They have the incomplete pass. It looked like they were going to try and line up to maybe run another play, or hey, maybe we can draw Arizona offsides and try and pick up that first down. It happens. They didn't do either of those. Instead, they took a delay game penalty. They punt. Arizona, after a short return, gets the ball thrown 26-yard line with 1:47 to play and a timeout. Sure enough, that timeout was used to stop the clock with 2 seconds left for Arizona to kick the game-tying field goal.
Well, they almost didn't call the timeout. I mean, they almost let the play clock or the game clock run all the way out.
That was a little situation for the line judge on the far side of the field, I guess in front of the Arizona bench, initially signaled when Kyler Murray went out of bounds that he put his arms overhead to wave to stop the clock. And then someone else came in and wound the clock. So really the Arizona coaches were like, wait, did you stop the clock? Is it a first down? Because if the clock stopped, or if it's a first down, we're going to run, we can spike the ball because, might get a couple plays in here. So really, like, the officiating, which sucked during the game, put Arizona in a bad spot because their coach is like, wait, is it a first down? Is it not? Because you had trouble spotting the football. So I give the Arizona Cardinals the coaching staff some grace on that one. But nonetheless, they still had that timeout. Panthers took a 30-20 lead with 12:04 to play. Carolina's 2 offensive possessions after they took that 30-20 lead in regulation totaled 9 plays, and they ran just 3:27 off the clock, including a 3-and-out after Arizona had cut their lead to 30-27. Sure enough, they get the ball in overtime. First play, 1-yard pass to Thielen. Second play, 7-yard run by Chuba Hubbard, makes it 3rd and 2. Then you give up a sack. Now you punt the ball away. This is the second offensive possession in a row where you punted the ball to the other team with the opportunity for them to win it. As opposed to you having the ball and winning the game yourself, you're giving the other team another opportunity to win the game. Cardinals actually get to a point where they're 4th and 2 on their own 19-yard line, and they go for it, probably because knowing they need to win to stay in playoff hunt. And they still run it without James Conner, their running back, who got hurt in the third quarter. Arizona converts. They eventually get to 3rd and 5, but then they fall flat on their face. They take a delay of game penalty. Then Kyler Murray gets sacked. Now they're facing 4th and 24. The sack was huge. Carolina gets the ball at the 49-yard line. 2 Chuba Hubbard runs later, 28 yards, 21 yards. They actually finally win. Like, but the win should not have taken that much. This is where, again, talk about making winning plays and finishing. But Bryce Young did talk about, hey, you know what? No quit in this team.
We talked about this last part of the season being a great opportunity just for us to finish, to set the tone for the future, kind of just lay the foundation of where we want to go. And it's a week-to-week league. We're just in this week. We can only do 1 week at a time. But just having that point of emphasis and then coming out and executing, having a great team win today, in the cold in December, there's no quit in this team at all. Something I'm super grateful to be a part of. So I think it just our strive to finish, and that's something that coach instills in us on a daily basis. I think it's showing.
We'll dive into the defense later. But again, you're not going to apologize for the win. Now, should they have closed it out sooner? I think that's what great teams do, or at least good teams do. They finish that game. Don't give the other team a chance. I mean, heck, your defense actually did give you an interception, Damani Richardson, that gave you the ball to allow you to have that closing drive. That whole sequence of plays I just talked about, that came off an interception by your defense. They actually made a stop somewhat when you needed them to. This team is growing, though. It's all part of the growing pains. Bryce Young even talked about this team growing together.
I think it's just us coming to our own, being able to start to establish an identity, understand what the brand of football that, we need to play is, what Coach brought here, and, getting more reps at that, more opportunity, us being able to grow together, to establish that, have that belief within ourselves. I think that, is something that's definitely grown throughout the year and something we have to continue to keep building on.
So yeah, growing. And the guys in the locker room have to believe into what Dave Canales is establishing. The guys in the locker room do not give a damn about where the draft pick is going to be in 2025. They're there to win and stay employed. Simple as that. They don't care if you're picking 4 or 7. Heck, you could trade that pick anyway. Who cares? They don't. The fact that the fan base at Bank of America and people were rallying around the team was great. The fact that the team is buying in to what Dave Canales is doing, even though this is now just a 4-win team, the fact that there is truly buy-in is good. That's good. That's how you turn a culture of a team around. Still has a long, long way to go. But the fact that they're getting these repetitions live in real games against a team that was fighting for the playoffs in the Arizona Cardinals, for them it was a playoff game. I understand for Carolina it wasn't, but for Arizona it was. That game had stakes, and it's good for the Panthers to play games with some stakes. It's only going to help you in the future.